What's happening, everybody, and welcome back to Streamcast, the show on the internet where we watch the latest and greatest stuff on streaming services with you guys. That's right. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with your other bro, because we're both your bros, Sheps, our bro, the inverted gamer himself, Sheps. I fucked myself up on that one, didn't I?
That's cool.
But hey,
we're good. It's good.
you're
They'll never
our
notice.
bro. How's it going, dude?
Yeah, it's going good. How's it going?
How's it feel recording this episode for the very first time?
The very first time.
And
first
not
try.
having any issues that previously stopped our recording halfway.
It feels great. It's weird, you know, because I haven't seen you all year.
Yeah, exactly. All year long.
You're the dad, but I had to do it. I had to do it.
He feels like he's a dad because he sees Isla so much. He's like that. I have to make dad jokes.
She's
now.
our child, okay?
Speaking of our child, the amount of people that saw our Christmas card with us in our holiday jumpers holding Isla, and they were like, "Oh, those two gay boys, they've got a child. That's so lovely." It's like, yeah, we do look like a gay couple.
Didn't think that one through.
I was just like, I'm gonna hold my proudest thing in the world,
Right?
And then that turned into a
exactly. If you didn't see it on Twitter, we for our patrons we sent out Christmas cards because we actually love our fans and you guys. By the way, that's why we do the flagship show over here on the FPN.
Exactly. That's why we brought it back, because people were saying, "Dude, the FPN is dying."
I can't do with weekly podcasts with just George.
Exactly, George every week. And then occasionally maybe Tyler comes on, then Tyler goes away, and then Ethan comes on. And there's only ever one other person on the podcast. Jesus Christ. Anyway, bro, we're here today to talk about the start of Witcher Season 2. That's what everyone's here for. First off, like as if we didn't do this conversation before.
We definitely haven't had it before. This will be a brand new take. You've never heard it.
Yeah, exactly. How do you feel about the first two episodes, just off of the top and the start of The Witcher Season 2?
I have conflicting feelings. One of those is because of these fricking guys.
Oh, yeah?
Because we're doing it 2-episode stints.
Yes.
And my memory is like a sieve. I am actually just watching 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
And it's currently like January the 2nd or something.
Yeah.
And I've literally only seen 2 episodes. It's been out for ages. It's killing me. My woman's going to kill me because she wants to watch the rest of the show. I'm enjoying it. So I hate you guys.
Because we're going to make content for you.
Yeah.
We're suffering. You're welcome.
So I'm really looking forward to watching the next 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So I guess I've been enjoying it. It's departed from the source material a fair bit.
Mm-hmm.
I get that it's sort of its own version of things. It's its own take. And I want to give it leeway. But I had issues with season 1. Like, the Yennefer took all the glory from Triss at the end. It was cool. But it's not the way it happened in the books. You know, Triss just fell over.
She did. Slight burn.
Yeah. Ooh, that's going to leave a mark. I guess I'll fall over now. Triss, do you want to be the hero?
Yeah.
I mean, Yen, do you want to be the hero? So, kind of bugs me in, like, Eskel. That's not the way it goes. So that really bugged me. But my only real issue with the show is casting. Like, I'll allow stuff that I don't like, but the show's still good. Like the Yen Triss thing last season, early this season stuff with Eskel. Like I didn't like it, but it's their vision. Mm-hmm. The thing that's really bugging me is the freaking casting. Yeah, just no one looks right. And I'm not saying they're not good. Like last season, I had a beef with Triss. I had a beef with Fringilla, which, by the way, Fringilla, these last 2 episodes, she's brilliant. Like, as an actress, she's so good. She doesn't look right to me. Which, it's hard to say, like, get freaking models who are also banging actors.
That's the issue, isn't it? Where it's like, either you go for good actors to try and make the story as good as possible, or you get models, and it's very unlikely that you get Henry Cavill that can do both. Right,
exactly. And ironically, it's one of my beefs. So, like, I hated... way worse. Like, I just feel like something about Fringilla doesn't fit. Way worse. Lambert and Eskel are totally wrong. They just look wrong. And the worst thing is Big Daddy Vesemir. Just doesn't look right to me.
That's what really... I said this as well the last time we recorded this. Yeah. I find that interesting because I don't have too much of an issue with him per se, and especially because I did go and watch... I don't know why I did this. I took the cap off of it. I watched episode 3 because so much time has passed and whatnot. And he acts really, really well in that.
I'm
one.
looking forward to
so
that.
hopefully that like remedies your thoughts for him and whatnot. But still, like you said, it's the look, and that can't be changed. He doesn't look right. So, but I don't feel that way personally. But
I think as well, like it's within a range. So like Henry Cavill is way too big to be Geralt. He's. I think it was about as tall as him, but maybe not as tall. But he's just yoked. But his performance is so good.
Yeah.
And he fits within. He's probably like 15% too big, but otherwise looks right.
Yeah.
So it's like within the range, and he performs so well. Whereas I feel like Vesemir, for example, just doesn't. I don't know, man. Something's bugging me, but I want to like get past it because I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm liking it. Bravs.
Yeah.
Before we get too far into it, there's a special group of people that we need to thank.
Yeah.
Who make this show, the flagship show on the FPN, possible, and our content over on youtube.com/. You just have to search for True Game Podcast.
Just have to search for the True Game Podcast and you'll find that.
Yeah. Who do we have to thank?
We have Diogo Dildo, Isak the Ultimate Cumsock, Sabine from Smallville, the Star Wars Encyclopedia, Adam Sunling, Jeremy Renner, that's right, an official Avenger, Super Sus Ben Fryer, the Filthy FIFA Fanatic Joe McCormack, My Juicy Lefner, the Super Sexy Producer Sean, Big Boy Billy, Catsbud the Friendly Patron, and Kevin the number one simp.
Why'd you do that?
I ruined it. I hit the microphone. No.
Just wait to drink.
I ruined my own joke. No. Of Xbox. Thank you guys so much for keeping the lights and mics on. All of you guys over at patreon.com/conversations.
I did it.
Yeah, I moved the mic over there.
Oh, sick.
You guys didn't see this because this happened in the deleted episode. Right. I put the stand too close and you couldn't do the signature move.
No interior decorating talk now for these guys.
Yeah, now unfortunately you guys are going to get rid of that. Maybe I'll upload that as a Patreon extra. It's just going to be the intro to this show that we've done here in obviously different words.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it's going to be. But thank you guys for supporting us over there. You guys are amazing. While we're on the topic of patrons and conversations and stuff like that, you guys that watch us over here at the Four Pillars Network may not know we have our own entire channel, our own entire thing over in the link in the description. And on the 9th of January, this Sunday, we are going to be doing a special event, an event that we do every year at Conversations called Conversations Day.
We're the kings of branding.
We are the kings of branding. We thought a lot about that. It was lots of biscuits and lots of teas.
It's true.
And we came up with that.
We're all invited.
You're all invited to come and join us for this amazing day.
Yeah.
It is going to be a day where we celebrate conversations, where we celebrate the community, where we celebrate gaming and all kinds of laughter that we do here on all of the channels that we are on, that we flagship. You guys can swing by. It'll be from 12 o'clock and it'll be like a all day in the sense that every hour that we can stand, not all day like lasers, 24 hours, 48 hours streaming type thing. We will be streaming all day, playing games, having laughs, doing all kinds of silly things on camera, all to celebrate Conversations and how great it is. And you guys can join us. So feel free to join us over. That'll be on Twitch. That'll be twitch.tv/conversations.
Oh my days, that wasn't even rehearsed.
There we go, right there. Kings right there. Head over to Twitch and you can join us for some fun right there.
Yeah, that'll hopefully, if we remember, that'll be linked in the description as well. So that'll be this Sunday as you're watching this. And they're really good fun, for real, just to do a little bit of shameless shilling. And previous years, we used it to like improve the channel. So like the mics, the streaming rig, other stuff which I can't think of, like stuff you can't see, like the audio stuff down there. It's all kinds of stuff that we would use to make these shows sound great, look great, and then hopefully fund entertainment that you guys would be like, do you know what, this is really, really good and quality stuff. And that's what we do every year to try and like get the channel going, to keep it going, to make even better stuff as years go on. And I do like it's a freaking laugh as well.
I do love it a lot. I love
good fun.
everything we do. Yeah, so join us for that. Yeah, that's enough on that. Do we have anything else to plug or anything like that?
We just get into it now.
We do have my thoughts on the thing that we did mention.
No, let's just get into it.
I'm really enjoying it. Go on, what does it open with? Tell me with your complete notes.
Yes.
In the last episode, he accidentally ripped them off. And then this week he comes back and is like, oh, I'm missing half of my notes. No, I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it for a couple of reasons, because this start has been so it's been filled with the most amount of stuff that a person who's only played the game would enjoy.
Yeah.
So there's been a ton of signs used already.
Yes, yeah.
The monsters that have happened, they're monsters that we've known from the game.
Yeah.
What was that trailer that you mentioned last time?
Oh yeah, so I knew. Spoiler alert for coming up. I thought I knew exactly what it was. Totally accidentally got it right.
Yeah.
Because my favorite trailer for the game coming up was there was this super banging hot redhead who turns out to be a Bruxer.
Yes.
And you get to see Henry, like you, or Geralt, I should say. He's so good, I'm just using the wrong names. You get to see Geralt, you know, use the potions, like in the games, you know this, you use the potions
all the time,
all the time. That's right. So yeah, it's a Bruxer. So I loved that trailer. I just think it's so interesting that you mentioned, because the start's so much stronger.
Yeah.
Like, you probably get halfway through season 1 before more than, like, Ard's used once.
Yeah. Season 1, the way they started it, they were like, okay, he's fighting this giant swamp monster thing. It's like, oh, there's gonna be monsters. And then it goes really quiet for a little bit. And then there's some things in the end, okay, it's not bad. But it's the first season, it's finding its legs still, and the budget's still kind of lowish and whatnot. But then this season, they just bust out monsters, signs, cool stunts and stuff like that. I'm like, this is great.
I feel like season 1 was sort of testing the waters for, like, how much will people tolerate of Geralt being magical.
Yeah.
Like, in the grand scheme of things, he's like entry level, like level 1 wizard, right? And like Yen's level 100. But how much will people tolerate a guy being this good at fighting, this good with monsters, a mutant, able to heal, able to do all this stuff, and be able to do magic? How much will they tolerate? And it turns out a lot, because it's awesome.
Funny that, funny.
Crazy.
But that's what I really liked about this first couple episodes, is that as a person who's only played the game and hasn't read the books, all of those things that I saw, I was like, oh my god, and I felt like I had so much knowledge, like this was actually made for me, rather than what the first season was, which was a bit more loose. It was a bit more, I kind of know these characters
into the world,
I kind of know this world a little bit, but there's a lot I don't, so they're filling the holes. People who like the books apparently really don't like this. Adam Sundling for one of them. We will find out why. I'm sure he'll write in a lot of his essays that he writes in with. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, let's start off then. So,
it starts off. It starts off.
That's right. It does. I'll take it from here. It opens with a merchant family entering. This is the shit that Conversation is all about. It opens with a merchant entering an empty village. And there's nobody around. It's completely almost deserted. I mean, well, it is deserted. They can't see anybody.
You know for a fact it's deserted because that one freaking shutter. If there was anyone here, they would have either ripped that thing off or had a go at their neighbors. So, like, that's a fight to the death. If that thing's going for a day, I'm going to kill someone.
Fucking knock it off for you.
I'm going to gather a mob.
There's nobody there. There's one fluttering shutter. Nothing's happening. Hello, we're looking for lodgings. We're a merchant. We can pay. We're like, just to let them know they're legitimate. We want somewhere to stay. Knocking on the door of the nearest door they find there. No one's answering. Why isn't there nobody around?
Mysteries, isn't it?
And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the mother that's sitting with a girl on the back of the carriage, cart, that's a better word. Wagon, gets murked by something invisible. We're like, oh shit!
It's not. We don't see it. It's not
we don't. Yeah, we don't see it.
No, we don't see it.
No, we just don't see it. Something murks her, and we're like, oh my god! And the mother starts screaming.
We're like, what?
We're like, what? Was you not like, what?
What?
Everyone in the watching right now, they were like, I was like, what?
I remember exactly being like, what?
Exactly. That's what they're saying right now.
Yeah, the mother gets murked.
Then the mother gets murked. And the husband's just there like, oh, what the fuck is going on? And he tries to walk towards them, and then he gets murked as well himself.
Oh, yeah.
All without seeing what the hell is killing them all. And we're like, this is madness.
Straight up, I'm like, it's a vampire, though.
Yes, that's the thing. When I saw the blood, I thought that was my suspicion. First of all,
yeah, because people don't bleed with other attacks.
No. Anytime anyone else gets killed by something, if you get cut by a sword, no blood.
Yeah, it doesn't
so, but that's what I thought, and I thought some sort of flying animal, but whatever it is. Yeah. It could have been a number of things, but I didn't think put anything into concrete just yet. However, we then cut back to the battlefield where Yen had blown everyone away with a massive fire attack and essentially ended the battle.
Yeah, there's there's lines where like that one guy with the teleporting sword, he's still alive. Someone is saying like they lost 20,000, we only lost 4. Basically, she just wrecked the army.
Yes,
she soloed Nilfgaard. Basically, yeah,
pretty bad.
It's pretty sick. Yeah.
And Tissaia, the Professor McGonagall,
Madam Lady,
is going around touching all of the soldiers that are fallen one by one, reading their last moments to try and see if she can see what happened to Yennefer.
Oh yeah.
She's putting her hand on some guys. The guys are dying brutally in their last few moments.
One guy gets an axe to the face.
Proper like murk to the face.
One guy gets run over by a horse.
You see him, his face is messed up. His face has been completely destroyed, and she puts her hands up. Whoa, how did he die? He does a valiant fighting some guy, kills 2 guys, and then he gets stomped on by a horse, and you're like, ooh.
It's an interesting place for them to put any budget here. I felt like it didn't need to have that.
It was cool. It was cool. But it was very well done. So you're like, okay, this was a priority for them for some reason.
Well, like making that dude's head.
Yeah,
that's not cheap. And it's really well done, and then filming the scene.
Yeah.
And I feel like she could have easily spoken to someone that was wounded and be like, have you seen a woman that looks like this?
Yeah.
No. You know? Or like, yeah, but she was over that way, or something like that, right?
I get the feeling that this whole season is very high budget. I think they saw season 1, they were like, if we inject another 150 million, we can get this going good.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's touching him. And then the magic guy, the one that can pull out infinite swords, he goes... Well, apparently finite, because he ran out at one point.
He's finite.
Yeah. He goes, 20,000 of their soldiers, 5,000 of our soldiers. You're going to touch each and every one of them, and you're still not going to find Yennefer from this. She's gone. And she looks around, and she's like, she's actually upset. She's like, I've lost Yennefer. She was the reason why we won. And she lets out this massive scream of like, Yennefer.
She's really good.
She's really in pain. And because she shouts out Yennefer, out of nowhere, Geralt... by the way, before we move on to Geralt, she's really upset from a bond that I think she created in only the last episode, right?
Yeah. So we definitely haven't spoken about this before. But a beef of mine in like this early few episodes is that Madam Lady acts like Yen is her daughter, right? And I feel like... I can see where they were going with that. I can see that is how she felt.
Yeah.
But what they didn't do is actually show that warmth come in.
Yeah.
Right. I get that she like saw a lot of herself in Yen and that she was like her favorite student and all that stuff. But she's quite cold and stern headmistressy in all but one scene in the last episode.
Yeah.
And I feel like just a couple of little tweaks in the last season would have made her grief here make more sense.
Yeah, it's right now all it seems is that she was, at least from the outside perspective, is that she was really, really hard on Yennefer, but really just sort of like stuck up her own ass. Like she didn't care about anybody, and Yennefer's no different. And this makes it seem like, oh, all along she actually did care.
She was hard on Yen because she saw her potential and stuff.
Exactly. And she was gonna turn around at one point and go, you are actually my favorite student, etc. But she never got that moment, and that's what she's really upset about.
And I'm fully with you. I just feel like they never lay up her looking for those opportunities, and then like a couple of looks here and there where she wants to say something but lets it go.
Yes,
would have helped dramatically for exactly that. Because I think you're right. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And then to paint a little bit of a picture for this next scene where Geralt and Ciri come in.
Mm-hmm.
In the last episode of the very last thing we saw in season 1. Geralt and Ciri meet in the woods, and then out of the blue, Ciri's just like, who's Yennefer?
Yep.
And they're right there next to the battle. So, like, Yen's just done her thing.
Yeah.
And it's all like, finally, our timeline's in sync again.
Yeah.
It's a bit odd that she would ask who Yennefer is. It's kind of out of the blue.
Yeah.
But that's where we are when they arrive.
Yes, and they do arrive after seeing a giant orange glow from the wrong side of the world when the sun's over there.
Yeah.
They're like,
so the sun normally...
Maybe we should head over there. Maybe there's something going on over there. It's a bit warm. Snowy over this side, but a bit warm. But
have you ever had marshmallows?
Yeah, so Geralt arrives with Ciri on the back of a roach and says, okay, stay here. And he walks up to her to say, after she's just yelled Yennefer, and goes, where is Yennefer? And she's just like defensive, like, who are you? Who are you?
Yeah.
It's like, just tell me where Yennefer is. And then she sort of like breaks a bit. She's like, we won because of her. Because of her, this battle was beaten. And implies like she's sacrificed herself to kill all of these people
she's
here.
Gone. I think she says she's gone.
She says she's gone. And Geralt, I love this moment because for a moment his mouth cracks and he says, was it worth it?
Yeah.
And just for that moment does he have this emotionless Witcher that apparently has had his emotions burnt to like out of his body so he can't feel anything.
They're like scorched, nerve ending sort of thing.
Exactly. Little crack in his mouth. Was it worth it? And then he just turns away. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, there's another scene coming up. And I think we should talk about this a little bit more in detail when we get to it. Yeah,
no problem. And basically, she's like, yeah, we won because of her. And he turns around and leaves. Ciri asks immediately afterwards, like, so who was Yennefer?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. She's gone now.
And he's gone back to being the emotionless Witcher that he's supposed to be. I felt like just showing that little bit and then going immediately back to it was so impactful and it was so great. I have to give it to Henry again, you know?
Yeah, I actually agree with you. It's not it's the little bits that shine through that build the character for Geralt. Yeah. And we definitely didn't say this last time either. Like, Geralt has a lot of he basically has a daughter now.
Yep.
That he has no idea how to care for. In the middle of medieval Polish winter, in the middle of multiple conflicts going on, and has to get her through wars, civil unrest, the winter, and forests full of monsters, to somewhere safe until it warms up enough that they can get to where they need to go through wars, civil unrest, and monsters. So at least they're not fighting the cold as well.
Yeah, at least they're not doing that on top of everything. Yeah.
So he doesn't have time to grieve Yennefer. Yeah. Like it sounds awful, but like because she's dead now, functionally.
Wait, she is dead. What are you talking about?
I mean, she's dead because she's dead.
Because she's dead. Yeah, go on.
Like he can't waste time feeling sorry for himself. Himself and a girl to keep alive.
Yes.
So he's got to get back to work. He's got to go back into work mode, and they leave. They go back off into the forest. And is this where he decides he's going to take it to Kaer Morhen? It's something like
that. They take camp after this, and Ciri's having a nightmare / vision.
Yeah.
You don't exactly know. It's a big mix at the moment. It goes, and they talk about it. They talk about how she has these visions and how she has this stuff and
her nightmares,
where it's come from. It's like your mother had powers, and I suspect that's moved on to you and whatnot.
She asks him how she ended up his child surprise, right? Is that right?
I think she makes like a derogatory sort of comment, sort of like, well, so what have you done? You've claimed this child of surprise, and you can do that. Yeah. And it's like, I rescued your father from death because your mother wouldn't accept him, and that's how you landed in my as my child surprise. It was complete accident, but this is how it happened.
Yeah.
It's like, I saved your father's life, and
basically what he pretty much says is, I saved your dad's life and I asked for nothing in return, but I had to ask for something because it was customary. The guy kept asking, and so I was trying to ask for like a pretty flower or something, you know, a puppy or something, right? Because in the books and the games, they basically say you're way more likely to get like a sheep has 2 lambs instead of 1, and you get a lamb, like useless. So it's nothing, as you are a child. So he basically asked for nothing in return and ended up with Ciri.
Exactly.
And then they discuss her options, right?
Yes. They start talking about... Well, just before they do that, she talks about like what you see in your visions, what is going on like that. And she talks about how she sees a black knight.
Yeah. They reference the Wild Hunt.
And Geralt name drops the Wild Hunt. Yeah. And we're like, as a gameplay, I'm like, oh!
Yeah.
Right there. And I was like, that's really cool. So maybe we're going to see more of that in the episode. And then Geralt explains, like you said, it's like, we discuss options. He goes, where can we go? It's like, I can go to Skellig. I've got family there.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you can go there.
Yeah. You'll be married off like pretty much instantly because they'll want your lands and stuff. But the food's good.
Exactly. It's a warm place. Food's good. And he genuinely means it.
So I'm with you. I think he is actually saying, like, yeah, you're going to be married off, but you will be warm and you will have good food. And that is more than Geralt could ever hope for in his life, to be safe, warm, and well-fed.
When he was about her age, what was his treatment?
Oh, he was being mutilated and tortured and then trained rigorously and hoping to survive. You see the bedrooms in Kaer Morhen.
We haven't seen it. What are you talking about?
I believe if we get to Kaer Morhen, we might get to see the bedrooms.
Exactly. Well done, well done. But yeah, his much better than what he had. So he is like, this is a genuine option. If you want, you will be married off to the first idiot out there, though. But you'll be well fed.
There's way worse fates in this world.
Exactly. And she thinks about it, but then they just leave it at that. Then they go, okay. We cut to Triss.
Can we... let's bang out the Triss and Yen stuff for at least episode 1, because this is my one other beef with this show. It cuts around a lot.
It cuts around a lot, and also not to take anything away from... There's parts of the Yennefer part that is there's barely anything happens, and then they got to this big thing at the end, and I'm like, okay, you could have just told all those things there, and then come to the end.
We could have made it 1 5-minute cut.
Let me do all of this stuff at the... I think they're at Aratus or something like that, this part.
Yeah, I think
so. They're at... we cut to Triss, and she's dying on a bed. She's, like, convulsing. And this brought me to that thing that maybe is accurate. We don't actually know that Triss might be allergic to magic or something like that, you were saying?
I forget what it is in the books, but it makes her interesting, because she's really set up to not really be capable... She's like, basically, imagine you're allergic to the thing you're good at.
Right. And she's convulsing there, and one of the other mages is like I was just I was doing something. She was fine just a second ago, and suddenly she just started going. And it takes 3 of them, Tissaia and the other guy with the infinite swords, to stabilize her, and they're like, get her down, and she's okay.
They make a point of saying she was stable, so I wonder if they're gonna work something into it. It's kind of odd.
I was like, oh, that's something I know as well, and that's another one of those things that I was just like, yeah, this is great. Anyway, they then move away, and they talk about how Fringilla has betrayed her father. Is it her father's the one that's the head of the council? And he's like obviously embarrassed by what's going on, and they have the lead bullsack armor guy downstairs in the prison waiting to be interrogated so they can find some information. Now they have rules and practices apparently, but Tissaia doesn't give a crap.
This is a cool scene, especially one. I'm going to probably go back and rewatch episodes 1 and 2 and then 3 4. But she says, I can get the information, I just need 5 minutes. And the guy says, we have rules, and sword guy is like, she wasn't asking. And I'm like, I feel like we didn't need you to say it, because it's clear that she's not saying, I just need 5 minutes, give me 5 minutes with him. She's saying, I'll get the information, I need 5 minutes.
I'll break him, don't worry.
And it's hardcore.
Yes.
Madam Lady don't frick about.
She goes down, obviously giving him the usual, like, how the bad cop walks around the table, and the guy's like, you ain't gonna break me.
You can torture me, but I've been tortured before. Like, this ain't no thing.
Exactly. And then basically does a better version of what Kylo Ren does to Rey in Force Awakens, and fucking looks like she's expanding a force bubble inside his head.
So the first time her fingers move, I'm like, oh, his hair must be a lot thicker than I thought.
Yeah.
And then she goes again, I'm like, oh.
It looks like she's cracking his skull open.
It's hardcore. And she says something along the lines of, like, you took someone very important from me, or something like that. And it's like, again, I just wish in season 1 we'd have a couple of moments where when Yen's not looking, it looks like she wants to say something, but doesn't have the courage, the emotional courage to say it, and then the moment goes. Just a couple more of those, and then we would have had that unresolved, like, mother-daughter relationship. But it's freaking hardcore. Madam Lady don't mess about.
This guy deeply regrets that he didn't say anything while he still could.
Tell you everything. I know you. I feel like if he'd said, I'm gonna tell you everything and spill my guts, she'd go, great, and still do the thing.
It's like, yeah, no problem. I'm still doing this because of what you did. It's really, really bad. And then we cut to Yennefer.
That's right.
Yennefer is alive. She wakes up. Oh my god! I can't believe this main character. she's alive and she's being held prisoner with a pair of magical
Dimiterium handcuffs
by Fringilla and about 4 other Nilfgaard guys that are badly wounded. These guys aren't doing shit.
They're tired. They're hungry.
Exactly.
Like even their campfire looks tired.
Yeah, their campfire is just this little like candle flame. It's like, oh god, put me out of my misery. And Fringilla's really dumb here. She assumes that like Yennefer just doesn't know anything and completely can't completely read her intentions.
Right.
So you guys like a book.
Like you guys won, huh? Crazy. Where's the rest of the army?
Yeah,
because like I don't remember everything, but I remember taking out like 10,000 guys.
Yeah, it was. I produced big flame. And you do die, and now we're there's only 3 wounded guys. Cool, no problem.
But you won. Okay, cool.
No worries.
Well, let's just go back to supply chain and get some food because these field rations aren't good.
Oh, anyway, and I'll wrap up the other scenes with this as well. While they're at the camp, something begins to attack each one of the Nilfgaard guys. One by one, they get taken off by, again, something that we can't see, a bit like in the beginning of the episode. And we're like, what is going on? That's what we was like, what is going on?
What is going on? Like that.
What is going on?
Yeah.
And Yen and Fringilla are back to back. Yen is like, take these handcuffs off of me. You know I'm more powerful. Yeah. I can help out in the situation. But she won't do it.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, it cuts again and it goes again. They do wake up afterwards in the back of a cart.
Yeah.
Should we cut to this, or do you want me to?
No, let's keep going. Yeah? Let's just get through this because we're going to cut around and mess stuff up, I feel.
I think it's a good idea. They end up in the back of a cart. They're waking up after having like a bad dream, something like that. Something messing with their head.
I hope we'll cut back to what happened, how these two survived, because it's a bit odd.
Yeah.
Like I would be okay with it if both of them, like if her hands weren't cuffed, if Yen's hands weren't cuffed, I could imagine that being that tired, they could still fight, save themselves, and then pass out.
Yeah.
How they got here, I don't know. It bugs me a little bit.
Who knows? Yeah, they wake up and they look outside of the cart, and you can just barely see like somebody's head.
Oh, yeah.
And eventually they stop.
Turns out the elves
have captured them. That's what killed them. I don't know how the elves do. Elves fly? Do they?
No.
How did they kill the guards back there? Then were they
the
really powerful arrows?
The guards were dead, weren't they? They get killed by a tree or spears or whatever it was.
Yeah, I was just wondering because it looks like they get swooped by something, and I was like, did something grab them and take them away, or what was
I don't know. Hopefully, we'll cut back to what happened.
Maybe it'll just be forgotten and be like, yeah, we killed the guards somehow.
Cool.
So that's
so they wake up in the elf cart and get taken to elf camp.
Exactly. One of the elves is like proud. It's like, I captured these 2 people over here, and takes them to the lead lady elf.
Yeah.
And the lead lady elf is doing very weird hippie stuff where she's putting a drop on her head of water.
Yeah.
And
there's a guy's name. He's from the OG stories and stuff. Filderin or something. There's a named elf, a dude, and he's the guy that nearly killed Geralt with Dandelion.
Oh, back in season 1. Yes.
His name. I can't remember his name.
I don't remember his name either. No,
but he's here.
Yes, he's there as well, and he's all happy bringing them. It's like, I brought you these two people right here. Aren't you very proud of me, bitch? What you doing bringing them to our camp over here?
Why are you bringing 2 nuclear weapons with minds of their own that don't like being used as objects?
Go and string them up and hang them by their entrails and stuff like that.
Right.
And they start speaking in Elven, obviously, and Yen is part elf. And she understands the language.
So that bugs me.
Didn't she learn it from the other guy?
Maybe. Also, it's worth noting that at this point, Yen and Geralt are easily 90-odd plus. Yeah. So she's had the time to pick up Elvish.
Yeah.
If she wanted to, right? I don't see why she would. Doesn't seem like a thing our Yen would do.
Yeah.
Or this Yen would do. Maybe she could. One thing I do like in particular is, she goes, I'm one of the people, right?
Yeah, and she tries to use that as a card. This like, is this how you treat one of your people?
Yeah. And then she's like, do you sing our songs? Do you worship our gods? And it's like, that I really liked, because there's more to being a thing.
So I just say I am. It's like that's all that matters, like, right?
Being born that race or in that country or whatever doesn't make you that thing. It's growing up with the spice of the flavor of the food.
Yes,
like
exactly.
all of that stuff is what makes you that thing. So like if a human baby was brought up by the elves, they'd be more elvish than she is.
Yes.
Right? Not even though they're not the same race.
Like our Superman, more human because he's born on Earth.
Exactly.
Even though he's an alien. Everything comes back to Superman, guys.
It's a true fact. But I do like that she's like, oh, I see that you're trying to manipulate me, and this was a shit tier take. Like, you don't sing our songs, you don't eat our food, you don't worship our gods.
Yep.
And you serve the people that kill our people. So, like, nice try, but try again, pretty much.
And they go, okay, look, they tie them up at a tree somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And they have a little bit of a conversation, but they can tell that this one guy, the one guy that was with Dandelion and thing, has been put aside, and this woman now is taking control of everything. And apparently, it's very much like a prophet, a bit much like a religion. They're like, oh, this one's the chosen one. This one's the one that's going to get all of our elven people to glory again and stuff like that.
They do overhear the elf mage say that she saw a god in a white robe, or someone that she saw as a god. And the girls, Fringilla and Yen, mentioned that they saw a red-robed figure and a black-robed figure.
Yes.
So, like, they're having similar stuff, and they have, I forget his name, they have his attention, and they start saying, like, we've seen this thing, we can help.
Yeah.
We're powerful mages, like, we will help, as, like, a trade for our freedom and stuff like that.
Right.
And just as that happens, they open something, and he goes, "No, are you good?"
It was
close,
being suckered
this
in.
Close, yeah.
It was like, maybe I should.
I really, really appreciated that he realized what was going on and was like, "Ah,
You almost had me.
you almost have you this close."
Almost had me there.
I don't know. It's not quite a fourth wall break, but it's like a touch of the fourth wall.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't actually know if we're going into the next episode.
That's that for that episode.
Let's say that's that for that episode right there. And if it comes up again in my notes, I'll have a look again. Anyway, we cut back to Ciri, and they're talking about Kaer Morhen, and they go, "Why are we going there? Are we nearly there yet?" Etc. And it's like, it's a good place to like for protection and whatnot. We'll be safe there until we figure out anything else. Yes, exactly.
Which is important.
Exactly. And as they're going along, they spot a wolf that's been killed. And Geralt goes to investigate. Just before he goes there, though, Roach is feeling a little bit uneasy.
Yeah.
So he gives him a quick axie sign.
It was cool, and he does the right hand signs as well.
I was like, this is great right here. Yeah. And he explains to Ciri, like, what was that? It's like, it's axie sign. It's meant to, like, out of nowhere. Right there, bro? He's dying, guys. Your wishes come true. 2022,
thanks.
The year. By the way, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Oh, yeah, that's right.
He says like, it's a calming. Axie is a calming sign for Roach.
I did forget to mention this. So in the game, Axie ended up being one of my favorite signs. I absolutely loved it because of Lambert. Do you remember? There's a mission where I think it's early on. There's like a timed mission. If you waste time, you don't get to do it. But you find Lambert and you help him with something, and he tells you that some guys were giving him trouble, and he used Axie to get them to get one to like kill his mate and then hang himself.
Jesus,
because Lambert is a trifling bitch. He's petty. He's petty, and I was like, damn, that's so cool. I mean, it's like nightmare fuel, but it's so cool. So Axe ended up being one of my favorite signs, and they do that in the game as well. If Roach gets ants, you can use the sign on her to like calm her down. So I really liked that they used it. It
was really cool. I really enjoyed that. He goes over and he takes like a bite of this wolf.
Yeah, I don't know why he does that. He doesn't have to worry about food poisoning.
Okay, yeah. Cool,
which, although that's a disease, but okay.
Whatever, yeah. But
I just don't get why he eats raw wolf.
Yeah. But he hears something anyway, and they're like, let's just keep moving. And they carry on.
They see the deserted town?
Yes, they move on, and the town is next. And they see the deserted town from the outside, and they're like, there's no guards.
This ain't Geralt's first rodeo.
No,
he
it's
knows
not.
a trap when he sees one.
That rodeo is not the first time he has been on it. And he goes, hold on a second. There aren't any barking dogs either.
Yeah.
It's like, there's a friend nearby.
Well, because they've all been eaten and left on the road.
And you took a chunk out of him just saying,
right.
He goes, there's a friend I know nearby. Let's go over to him and see what's happening and whatnot. And they go further down the road and they head up to what looks like a haunted castle. Because when they get there, few steps in, all the shutters are like, the front door, everything's It's like, but Geralt, though, not fazed by any of it. He's a man that only acts when he needs to act. When there's something attacking
He's got
him.
an economy of movement. Same with his language. Like, he rarely speaks unless he needs to. When he speaks, he only says what he needs to say.
That's what I love about Geralt. That's what everyone loves about Geralt.
It's true.
It's just, stay silent, You don't need to give people information until it's needed.
And also...
And then make a huge effect.
Right. And also, silence is a really powerful tool. So talking about this, one of like Geralt's really interesting factors and Witcher's interesting things is that they're supposed to be, at least Geralt is, very competent with people. So like in season 1, he figures out like Foltest is the father of the incest baby that's now the thing.
Yeah.
Figures all of that out from like little cues in his face when he mentions stuff. He pokes and prods to get the information. So he understands the human condition. And silence is a really powerful tool if you know how to use it. Like in one sense, it's an answer.
Yeah.
In another way, it's a way to like not give an answer, like, and let someone think whatever they think, and then whatever they presume, you know, you get information out of it. And if you stay silent, a lot of times this is true. You experiment with this; it's really fun. If you ask somebody a question and stay silent when they respond,
they offer up even more information.
Yeah.
It just keeps going. And
just
it's like,
and I'm not poking.
No,
just
but
like
that
you
was
did
how
there,
it was.
exactly.
Yeah.
I paused. It got to the exact moment where I should speak, and I waited just a half second, and then you filled in the gap.
Yeah.
Naturally, right? I love that they do that with Geralt.
Yeah.
He's so good at it, and Henry Cavill's so good at it. But like you say, it's not just his language. He's there, they're at this haunted house, but also what are his options? Woods with something murk and monsters.
Yeah.
Medieval Polish winter.
Yeah.
Current civil war, civil unrest, war, invading armies, and monsters. Probably best to just cure what's going on here.
Yeah, and then stay here. And as he goes a few steps closer, a giant beast just bursts through the door, flying through the air, jumps onto Geralt on the ground. Geralt quickly flips him over, pulls out his knife, is about to stab him. Geralt! Oh! And I don't remember the guy's name.
Me neither.
Beast! Beast! That's what we're going to call him from now.
Yeah.
Beast! It's like, Beast, is that you? It's like, oh, Geralt, old friend!
Yeah, it's me!
It's me, Beast!
It's me, Beast!
You know, beauty of the Beast.
Right. Yeah, it's me.
So Beast is, it's like, is this your friend? It's like, yeah, this is my friend. Oh, Geralt, get in out of the cold. Go on, let's get inside and we'll talk all about it. Don't worry about it. And as he goes inside, he offers them obviously like places to stay near the fire. It's like, oh, little girl, you must be very cold to your bones. How about a nice warm bath? And Geralt's like, no, we're not going to be, because obviously something's going on here.
Right.
Like, no, we're not going to stay here. Yeah, I would really like that. And he just conjures a bath out of nowhere.
I actually really appreciate how everything just falls from the ceiling.
Yeah, it's so fucking like not even elegantly.
Yeah.
Just douche to the ground.
Half
like,
the bath spills out.
Oh, fucking hell. And it's a metal bath, so it's changed shape now. It's like, oh, God, it's awful. Anyway, it's like, and it's nice and warm. She's like, okay, you stay here. We'll go, me and Geralt will leave you go in peace and you can have a nice bath and whatnot. She has a nice bath. While she's bathing,
she hears like skittering in the rafters or the attic,
ceiling somewhere, some noises. But anyway, she relaxes anywhere like that, and the camera pans up to a crack that you can see in the ceiling, and there's a pair of eyes just looking through there.
That's not scary at all.
No. And especially not those piercing white eyes.
Right.
No.
And then also, so we hear more skittering, and then a dress is there.
As she gets out from the thing, she's like, oh, there's a dress there. It must have been Beast. Must have been Beast. Anyway, she wears the dress and she goes over to the dining hall where they're about to eat. And they go, oh, thank you so much for the dress, Beast. It was... Oh, so funny we're calling him Beast.
I know.
Thank you so much for the dress, Beast. My other clothes were awful and smelly and whatnot. And he's just like...
Oh, yeah, that was me.
No worries. That's totally fine right there. Thank you. Take a seat. And just as he does it, he's like, okay,
I think she even says that there's like, have you got a cat? Like, I think it's stuck in the attic.
Yeah, a little bit later they hear a noise.
I have a cat. It's called... We'll do that.
Cat?
We'll fix that in post. It's called...
There you go.
And she's harmless or something.
She's
like
harmless. It's like, it's great to have the company and so what, but Geralt's like, I thought you said you was alone here. Because he does mention that he's alone because of his curse and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, he goes on to explain how he got cursed, how he ended up looking like this, that he went to like the Sun Temple and trashed it, and goes like, no one's that stupid. And he's like, yeah, well, clearly someone is.
Yeah, he says, the reason why I'm cursed this way is because I got drunk and I got high on like mushrooms and shit that.
That's right.
That I went to go trash the temple, like you said, and the priestess cursed me to look like this forever.
Yeah.
And he's like, no one's that stupid to go do that shit.
Well,
like that. clearly evidence suggests that somebody is. And
she obviously heard about my nickname. Everybody calls me Beast. They've called me Beast since the day I was born, and now she made me look like a beast. That's why everybody calls me Beast now.
And he tries to cure him. He's like, well, every curse has a cure. What did the priestess say? It's like, I don't know, something about something, or I don't really remember.
I don't remember. Yeah. And that is the point where I'm like, bullshit.
Yeah.
100%. You remember everything.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't remember, but...
No, neither of us would.
Yeah,
but someone with a brain that isn't full of holes, they would totally remember.
Anyway, they have a meal together. He drops the food out of the sky in his very funny fashion. It's very cool and whatnot. They're eating lovely. And Geralt explains how the two of them met. And...
oh, yeah.
He talks about how his father hired Geralt to clear a Wyron infestation. Yeah. And while Geralt was out, Beast, as a boy, went out to go kill Beast Boy. Went out to kill some as well, but he got himself in some trouble where he was falling down a well or something like that.
He fell into a nest. Was about to get murked by one. Yes. Geralt came in, killed it.
Swiped its head off.
And gave him the head to go back and show to his father.
Yes.
And how, like, that was the only moment that his dad ever looked at him and said, Beast, I love you. It was something like that.
I'm proud of you because Beast. You brought me this head, Beast. Even as a kid, they called him as a beast. They took him out. They were like, God damn, this kid is a beast. Right,
that's right, exactly.
Call him that.
And the point of this whole story isn't their relationship, really. It's character building for Geralt.
Yes.
Because Geralt plays the, look, I was hired to kill all of them, which I did and got paid.
Yeah.
It didn't matter to me if he got the first one, right? So I gave him the head.
Yeah.
The reality is, he did it to help a kid out. And this, again, we're building on that whole, like, cold, emotionless Witcher who isn't quite as cold as people say.
Yeah.
You know, he's a lot more human than people realize.
He realized that by giving this head, it would give this boy something with his father and maybe spark a new relationship or something like that. And he's still going to get paid regardless anyway.
And that's his excuse. Like,
he's like,
I wouldn't, he basically insinuates that he wouldn't have done it if he was, if it would have affected the job, which is probably true. He would have got paid. But he still didn't need to do it.
Yeah.
And did. And that's the point, is that Geralt tries to save people. He tries to save anything conscious, sentient that he can. Like, he doesn't kill every monster he finds.
Yeah.
Clearly, he's not killing this guy now who's cursed.
Yeah.
So that it's more character building for Geralt, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next, Geralt asks about the village and says why it's so empty. What's going on? And Beast says, well, they left after the battle because it wasn't safe here. And he's like,
all of them?
They all left because their village wasn't safe. Out in the woods with monsters, in the cold, the dead of winter.
And it's also like, there's always civil unrest. There's always a war going on.
Exactly. You stay in your village. That's what you do. Yeah. And he says as well...
it's a pretty decent sized village. There had to have been probably 100 or 200 people total there.
Yeah.
Like, at that point... There's farming, there's blacksmiths. Like an army's going to come and use the village, not use up the village.
Yes, exactly.
You know?
The Beast does say it's very unsafe around here now. I mean, I've even seen the Wild Hunt right nearby.
Yeah, another name drop. We're episode 1, man.
In it, fucking straight into it. Makes me think we're gonna see the Wild Hunt soon, hopefully.
Oh my god! Tell me we're recording.
Yeah. Oh, god. Could you? Why'd that suddenly hit you? Out of nowhere, you're just like, tell me we're recording.
I don't know, man. I just got a spike of fear.
His spidey sense went off for something. He's like, it must be the recording. Okay, we are. Don't worry. We are. In case you guys didn't know at home, we are recording. That's how you're hearing our voices. Anyway, and that's when they hear something in the ceiling. And Geralt goes, how about I go check the compound to make sure everything's okay? Because he's got Ciri to look after. So his main concern is making sure everything's okay before they go to sleep.
Yeah.
The Beast goes, no, stay for the show. I'm going to put on a show for you guys. That's what happens after dinner and stuff like that, right?
Apparently. I guess.
And he goes, no, I'm going to go outside and check the
Yeah, he's going to scout the compound, basically, yeah.
Ciri stays and they have a show basically about his life and things like that he's done and whatnot. It's very touching and so.
It's quite sweet. It's quite cool. And he can do it because he's magic.
Exactly. He can make everything good. I was like, that's a really cool little device thing got there. Oh, wait, he's magic. That's
right.
And... after they...
Geralt goes outside, scouts the compound, finds footprints in the snow.
He does.
That lead outside and then stop. And at this point, I'm like, Geralt, I figured... No, I know I'm the audience, but like, I've figured this out. You're... again, like, he's got to have 80, no, 70 years of experience as a Witcher, at least at this point. Like
he's in his 70 years, he's learned not to jump to conclusions. Okay, so give him that at least. We're like sitting there, we're like, it's some sort of vampire winged thing, bro. Come on.
All I'm saying is, this is what Geralt knows, right? Because we're obviously the audience. We're privy to like the prologue and stuff. Guy says he's alone. You got footprints in the snow that aren't Ciri's. They stop at the end. You got an abandoned town and a murked wolf.
Yeah,
like, bruv.
Yeah,
bruv.
He goes into the snow. Geralt, and then goes back into the compound to after Ciri's gone to bed.
Speak to Beast. Yeah.
Ciri goes to bed and he speaks to Beast, and they're going, let's have a little bit of a talk. Like, let's talk about what's happened to you.
Game, basically, yeah.
And he goes, I'll tell you what, we'll turn this into a drinking game. And he pulls some knives that come out of the sky and land on the table. And he's like, every dagger that you throw at my father's head at this painting on the wall, you get to pass your turn. If you miss, you get to tell,
it's sort of like,
tell the truth of what's happening.
It's truth or dare with no dare, and it's based on like throwing daggers at his dead dad's face.
Exactly. Geralt goes heads up first, and he throws the dagger. Miss.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, Geralt.
Come on, Geralt.
Was your hands cold outside or something like that?
That's it. Just blood flows.
Exactly. Let me just warm up and then I'll get in this one.
It's funny because we definitely didn't talk about this on the last one.
Exactly. Definitely not. And he misses, and he starts talking about Ciri, what's going on, and with the child surprise and etc. That. Explains a bit more of the situation.
Basically, Beast is totally willing to pry into Geralt, but not vice versa. Now, there is one cool scene, and when I talk about this, somehow Yen or his love life comes up.
Yes, he misses everything, and then one of them he goes, "It's like, so, like, what are you doing here?" And he starts talking about Yen or something like that.
Yeah,
and he goes, talking about how Yen is dead. The love of his life is dead. And it's like, oh, I'm so sorry, dear boy. You must be heartbroken. When did she die?
No, he says, how are you not? Oh, that's right.
When did she die? It's like, yesterday. It's like, how are you not heartbroken?
Who says I'm not?
Powerful, like,
and
powerful.
So it's really powerful. So I've read some of the books.
Yeah.
Obviously played The Witcher 3 like multiple times. I can't remember where the information is. But like, the way you make a Witcher is really rough.
Yes.
It's really rough, and I don't know if it's a function of the magic or the mutagens or what they do, but and I don't think it's on purpose. But witches end up functionally emotionless. Not completely, they're not robots.
Yeah.
But like we said, scorched nerve endings. So they get the really big, like, they can feel the really big emotions, like anger and grief and stuff, but not in detail. Like, you just know it's there.
I like to think of it as a bit like the smaller ones are a bit like robots, where they detect internal coming in stimuli, but they don't react to it.
Yes.
And then when it comes to the really big, overwhelming shit, well, then you start to see a crack, like we said in the beginning and whatnot.
And like, it's important because if they were robots, then they wouldn't respond to like when they're being betrayed by villagers and stuff like that. There is something there, but just it's really muted. It's on like
understand social cues.
It's on like a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Oh, 5 out of 100 even. It's there, but like it's really low.
Yeah.
For me, the thing about Geralt was that knowing that he was this muted, like, just imagine instead of a colourful world, it's WandaVision. When he sees the world in black and white and everybody else is seeing it in colour with emotions, right? The only times we really see Geralt show emotion are twice with the girls. It's anything with Yen and Ciri. And one of my favourite moments in gaming is finally meeting up with Ciri in the cabin. Oh my god, so good. And to see that this guy that can't feel things feel something silently was so powerful, and it's so well done here. But again, like, what can Geralt do in the middle of medieval Polish winter, animals and monsters all around, war, civil unrest, got to get his new daughter that he's totally woefully under-equipped to deal with somewhere safe?
What can he do?
Cannot be sitting in misery.
Can't just go get drunk and wallow about
for 3 months. Can't do it.
Self-pity and shit like that.
And
he's so objective focused. He's such like a goal-orientated guy that he's just like...
Also, I feel like he's trying to bury himself in work.
Yes.
If he needs something to do...
distraction.
Right. I will say, on the dagger throwing thing, you sussed it because you're smarter than me that they were magical daggers because he's magical. For me... as soon as he misses that first dagger, I don't know if you guys caught it, but he grabs he just holds onto his necklace as he's playing. And it's which I don't know why I didn't tell him the Bruxer was there, but
Bruxer was a little bit outside of the range. It's like radar. It's like 2 meters. You're too far away.
Right. But like, it's just it's a nice little touch that like obviously he probably suspects that he knows they're magical.
Yeah.
But like, were they magically summoned or are they magically fricking with him? And so he holds the necklace and figures out, okay, you've been cheating.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a cool little scene for a lot of different things.
It is. And then next scene, he picks out a knife from his boot, throws it at the painting, nails him right between the eyes, and he's like, "So you've been cheating? Now let's talk about you then, eh? So how did
That's a story for another time,
God damn it! God damn it, Beast! Typical Beast. He does this all the time.
That's what they say about Beast.
That's what they say. Beast. They can't believe it. Anyway, meanwhile, while they're like, okay, like let's pack everything up. We'll talk about it in the morning. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
in your notes. Yeah, exactly. We then go back to cut to Siri's room.
Yeah,
she's sleeping, sound asleep, having a little bit of a vision, nightmare. Something's going on right there. But then out of the ceiling,
it's nightmare fuel how she gets out. You know, like how octopies,
yes.
You know how an octopus gets to a really small, like, it's like that.
Yes. She gets through
super
tiny
creepy,
grab. She starts crawling from the ceiling, down the wall, down the floors, all the way up to Siri's bed, and she like grabs one of her teardrops and just puts it on her tongue.
Yeah.
Very freakily, her eyes piercing white, as I said, and I really, really love how they did her in this.
I agree. I actually really like her
because there's a weird like when Siri wakes up, fine, she doesn't like scream or anything. She like tries to take in whatever the hell's going on in front of her, and Siri's moving normally, and I don't know how.
Yeah, she's got this weird like stutter,
and she's got this like fast moving sort of thing, almost like she's not really there, almost like she's a bit of like she's an entity, like she's a ghost or something like that. But she's anyway. It's really fucking cool. Love the camera work. Love the VFX.
It's really good.
Beautiful stuff.
It's really good.
And she's just talking to Siri. She's like telling her not to be scared and whatnot.
And she also says like, "You're like me, not a vampire, but like not human, a monster, basically."
Yeah, something in that, different about you.
To be clear, the category is humans and monsters. Humans, animals, monsters, right? If you're not an animal and you're not a human, you're a monster.
Exactly.
So Geralt's a monster, functionally, right, in this world.
Exactly. Why do you hang out with that man? He kills monsters. He kills people like us.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, like Geralt doesn't do that and whatnot. They're having this like, she's having this like kind of scary conversation with some weird chick that you know is dangerous in some way yet, but we don't know quite yet.
The question for you, genuine question.
Yeah.
Do you think the vampire is more willing to like talk and stuff because she's not hungry, or because she doesn't look at Ciri as food? Like she looks at her as, like she says, something close to her. Like, so, you know,
good question.
Do you know what I mean?
Good question.
Like she's not looking at her like a meal. Like she probably wouldn't eat like a doppelganger or something, right?
Perhaps, yeah.
So I think there's a mix. Like she's obviously gone out and murked somebody.
Yeah.
So she's fairly full.
Yeah.
But vampires that aren't like the upper echelons.
Yeah. It's a weird one because like later on we see who she does feed on as well as like humans and stuff like that. So she's not above eating a monster. But
I guess though he's a oh no.
Maybe it's something to do with her specifically.
Yeah, maybe.
Like she's something else, a different entity.
Yeah, it's probably curiosity because she's never experienced something like
Ciri. Yeah, it's quite cool. Anyway, it's quite cool. Isn't it? Anyway, Geralt goes and patrols the grounds and goes to the abandoned village as well, and sees exactly what happened there. He sees the same footprints that disappear, and then he sees three murked bodies, and he's like, "Oh shit, I know exactly what's going on now."
He clocks.
Finally,
it
clocks
can
onto
fly.
Exactly. He runs right back, goes to get Ciri, and he goes, "There's a Bruxer in the house." Tells her to run.
Goes to find Beast.
Beast is being munched on by the Bruxer.
Important thing, we did miss this. In like candid moments, he has told both of them that he can't die. He's cursed to live as a beast forever, meaning forever. It's a curse of long life as well.
He hasn't been able to die.
Yeah.
This is part of his curse.
There is also a little discussion I totally forgot with Beast and Ciri about him actually being a monster. And it doesn't matter if he's human. He's done monstrous things, like killed all of his staff when in his confusion when he woke up looking like this and stuff.
Yeah.
And the hook for Siri is she's killed people as well.
Yeah.
And she's thinking, there is this scene of like, well, she's obviously thinking, I must be a monster as well.
Mm.
The difference is the way in which it was done. Like Sirius was in self-defense and confusion and not knowing her powers and stuff.
And also, she really didn't see it happen, so she's like, what did I do? Did I even do it? How was it done? Was I she's really confused about it, whereas him is more like bloodlust type thing. It's like Geralt busts in seeing that the Bruxer is feeding on Beast and is like, all right, I'm going to attack this thing, but she turns around and lets out a massive wail and pushes him right back to the wall, completely knocks him on his back. She then, I think she goes up into the ceiling,
something
right?
like that, yeah.
And Geralt, in a fucking amazing move, pulls out like a spear from somewhere, and just like, he's like, stab right into the ceiling. First try, nails her, and she's like, ah, she falls down from the ceiling.
She's like, what?
She's like, ah.
Okay, cool.
I'll do it actually in a more female voice. Ah. That's not gonna get clipped.
No.
Falls down from the ceiling and they're battling right there. Geralt with his black eyes after he's taken his potion.
Yeah, he took the black blood potion.
The way that he said there's a Bruxer in the house was with the black potion. So he's like, he goes and grabs Ciri, not looking at the camera, and it's like, what's happening? What's going on? And he turns around with his black eyes. There's a Bruxer in the house.
Again.
I was like, fucking sick.
So the really interesting thing about Geralt and Ciri here is that they're both sort of bridging the gap between human and monster. And Geralt, who ultimately is someone that she knows she's supposed to be with, but doesn't know, who's a big dude who's lived a life of violence, and then turns round looking like that. Yeah. And her exchange with him is more negative than her exchange with the Bruxer. Yeah. So it's a really well done scene. I thought it was a brilliant first episode, I have to say.
Very, very strong hook right there.
They beef, basically. Geralt and the Bruxer beef.
Exactly. Uses a bunch of signs. Quen at one point. Odd to push her back. It was so fucking great. It was
cool
really, really cool.
It's very cool to see.
And then afterwards, they're outside in the front courtyard where they first met Beast, and she's flying around. This Brooks is flying around again. Very good CG in my opinion.
Pretty decent.
It looked very
for a
very
Netflix show.
Exactly.
Let's remember what it is. Yeah.
Very very cool stuff. And he manages to nail on like he like turns his back. She comes flying in to try and grab Geralt. He pulls his sword in between his arms, nailing her in the side, and she lands on the ground completely butt naked in her human form. And I was like, now we can get down to business. Here we go.
You know, you're too picky.
You know,
that form. I mean, I banged worse. So
someone needs to make that a t-shirt. Bat form, I've banged worse.
You know what's funny is, so I think in the game I banged everybody possible. Yeah. And I can't remember if it was my girlfriend or my brother was like, why are you fucking everybody? And I'm like, look, man, he's got 3 swords: silver sword, steel sword, pork sword, and I'm using all of them. I'm fighting everything. I'm fucking everything.
Even that rock troll that can't speak properly. That one
can you fuck that?
I don't think you can. But
I was gonna say,
how great would that be?
God damn it! That's why I don't have the platinum.
18th playthrough. Let's go. Yeah, nails her. And when she's on the ground, she's like seemingly dead. Ciri goes rolling over because she sees it as not as a monster
like
per se. Yeah, as like something that's clearly affected by what it is, but doesn't want to be that way.
And who obviously has a relationship with Beast, who's a friend. So like she's close to friend category than enemy category.
Exactly.
And she's got a lot of enemies.
Exactly. And she did also say, it's like, why'd you hang out with that guy? He kills people like us. So she's not, even because she's still brand new met Geralt. Yeah. Doesn't really know who he is.
They've been together for like, let's say a week. They've been on the road.
Exactly.
Max.
It's like, yeah, he's protecting me, but how much do I really know about Geralt?
How many people have protected her anyway?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Anyway, goes to try and cover her up quickly and goes... And Geralt's saying, like, stay back, Ciri.
Yeah, she's a freaking Bruxer.
She's dangerous. You can't be near her. She's like, no, just stop, Geralt, just stop.
Yeah, it's good because she's trying to say, like, if you'll just listen. Yeah. And Geralt's, again, 70 plus years of experience. You can't reason with these things, and he'll reason with something if it can be reasoned with. Yeah. She's murked this village and attacked us. Like, we need to deal with this. And doesn't know about Ciri's relationship. Yeah. Ciri's experience with her. So it is very much that, like, you're not listening to me. You need to listen to me from both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, in the middle of this confusion, in the middle of this fight, in the middle of winter, it's really good, man. It's so good. Beast comes out.
Beast comes out, and just as that moment with like a minor distraction, the Brookser gets up and grabs Siri by the throat and is like, "Come any closer and I'll hurt her." And Geralt's like, "The fuck, this is what I was trying to avoid, bitch."
Right.
That's why I told you to wait with Roach. Jesus Christ, Roach would have protected you.
Definitely wouldn't.
Definitely wouldn't. Minor kicks, maybe something like that. It's like, vampires are immune to kicks. Oh, no.
Immune to kicks.
Immune to it. That's what
Horse kicks, my only weakness. How did you know?
It's like fire. Garlic. Wooden stakes. It's like kick. Nothing. Don't worry about it. And then it goes, okay, it's like, Beast comes out and it's like, no, girl, stop. This is, I know her, and tries to like reason with him, try and get him to calm down. Not going well though, because this is a monster.
And she's in a fight for her life.
Exactly. And in a moment where it looks like Geralt's not going to give up and the Brookser's not going to give up and things are going to go bad for Ciri, Beast goes and stabs the Brookser in her back with like a wooden spike.
Takes out her heart, I think.
Exactly. The thing is, I'm not sure. So stabs her, goes all the way through.
Yeah.
And
there's something on the end of the spear.
It does, yeah. But she doesn't die from whatever it is anyway.
I think, and I don't know if this is canon in the Witcher universe, but her heart was stabbed with metal, not wood.
Okay.
That's my take on it. And I don't know if that's canon in The Witcher, but I think one of the reasons they would have done that is people are familiar with vampires.
Right.
And they're familiar with a wooden stake.
Right.
And then how is she defeated? He cuts off her head.
Exactly. It stabs her, and she goes, and she just like lets go of Ciri. Ciri gets to safety.
Yeah.
And then she does this nightmare fuel. Fucking just bends her arms backwards. Her head then turns around completely in the opposite direction. Yeah. Very well done again. And starts pulling herself closer on the spear. Just pulling herself closer to Beast. And Beast and the woman's like, why would you betray me like this? What are you doing to me?
I don't even
it's like he'll kill us.
Says that. I think she says more along the lines of like, I love you.
Yeah. Trying to like really play the emotion.
In my head and from my detailed notes, it's more like she's trying to say like, you're picking the wrong side. I love you. And we're not, sorry about this cough, guys. We're not at the point of no return. Like, let's kill the Witcher and I'm okay. Like you didn't kill me.
Yeah.
We can still be together.
Yeah.
And he kills stuff like us.
Just as she's getting closer, talking like that.
And also she's making a really good case.
She's making a really good case. She gets right down to the end. She just opens up her mouth in her Brookser style, is about to bite him. And Geralt comes in with a swift sword and just slices her head off. Her head goes flying off. The Beast is like, no! Ciri is taken back by what's happening. Her head is on the ground next to Ciri. Her eyes still move.
Nightmare fuel.
And she talks to Ciri.
Yeah, psychically.
Yes, exactly. And then bursts into flames.
Yeah, she basically says, like, he's going to do that to you too. Now, quick thing about going to bite Beast. Yeah. Can't be killed.
Yes.
And she has taken damage, presumably wants to eat to, like, repair herself.
Perhaps.
So, like, it's not as terrible a scenario as, like, for us, the audience, it's actually kind of 50-50. Although, obviously, we know the Brookser is a predator and has murdered all these people. But Geralt doesn't know that. And has probably forgotten that Beast can't be killed like that.
Can I ask, do you think that that's what she was trying to do?
I think it's hard to know. I think she knows she can't kill him.
It's true, yeah.
But just because you can't kill someone doesn't mean that attacking them won't take them out of the fight for now.
That's what I think she was trying to do personally. Because the way she was getting closer and using those words that will disarm him, like at least for a moment, so she can get closer. And then she attacked. I felt like she was going to try and get him out of the fight at least for a little bit, so then she can kill the Witcher and then afterwards handle whatever she's going to handle. Right. I felt like she was... And that's what made the killing at the end so impactful, because it was like... I really love this Brookser, this woman, whatever she became, or whatever this Beast.
She loves him.
Yes, exactly. but she was just about to attack me, so there was some sort of betrayal going to happen there.
But 30 seconds ago, she bled him dry.
Exactly. So like, but we didn't get to explore why she was doing it. What was going to be her plan of attack? Maybe it was to protect me. Maybe it wasn't. And you've taken her away permanently, forever. The one thing that loved me.
So here's
even as a beast.
Yes, and here is the thing as to why I think it's correct for Geralt to kill her.
Yeah.
Is that she has unlimited food.
Yeah.
And she's hunting because she's a predator, and it's in her nature. It's the scorpion and the frog, or whatever it is. You know, like, do you know that saying?
Go.
Yeah, the basic gist is a scorpion and a frog on the side of a river, and scorpion says, "Frog, you know, carry me across, and we can both make it." And he says, "Well, don't sting me, or we'll both drown." And halfway across the river, scorpion stings the frog, and as they're drowning, the frog says, "Why did you do it? It's in my nature, to sting things." Same sort of thing with the Bruxa. Like, she has the food, but she's a huntress. She hunts and needs to hunt. It's in her nature to hunt.
Yeah.
And that is what makes her the monster and needs to be, in Geralt's moral code, removed. It's not that she's a vampire and would eat people. It's that but she's going to do it regardless.
Yeah.
And he has to take her out.
Yeah. That's it right there.
But we do think she really did love Beast.
Yeah.
And Beast really did love her. And then he cries and then is cured.
Yeah, his curse is broken. And it turns out that... Was she supposed to be the priestess?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it's confusing. So the basic gist is that instead of... He even says to Ciri early on that, you know, Ciri offers to kiss him. And he's like, no, it doesn't work. I tried it and managed to get it. Not that someone needed to love him, but he needed to love somebody.
Yes.
And I guess lose them was the thing. And then we find out the actual story as to why he was cursed, which comes out of nowhere. I don't get why we're told. And it's pretty dark. And if you think back to the original story that we were told, and Geralt's like, nobody's that stupid.
Yeah.
How did you get 100 times worse than that? It's weird.
Yeah.
And I think as well it's important. I think the point of it is for Ciri to realize that monsters aren't monstrous. Anyone can be monstrous.
Yeah.
And that just because someone is a monster doesn't make them monstrous. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, anyone could be a monstrous. So like even this nice guy that you felt like was completely perfect and whatnot. Turns out the reason was that he raped the priestess. Yeah. And that was the whole deal, and that's why he was cursed. That guy right there. And it does show that like she sort of learns that lesson at that moment, because
not everybody is what they seem.
He tries to like beg for her to like, you know, one last time, and she realizes like, shit, even the most nicest seeming people can be complete arseholes, can be complete bastards, and have a complete dark side that you just don't see.
Right.
And I have to be really careful, and Geralt's been teaching me this since day one, and I've only just learned the lesson now. So
yeah,
like
she has to make her own mistakes, sort of thing.
Exactly.
And that's the end of episode 1.
Yeah, he tries to say one last thing. He tries to say, "Geralt, I've lost everything. I need you to kill me now." And it's like, you're mortal now. Do it yourself. Because he's not a killer. He's a witcher.
Yeah,
there's a difference there. And then that's the end of it.
He's already done one free job for the day.
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't get paid for this one. I mean, I got food, but nothing about that.
Anyway, really strong. I loved episode 1. Really strong intro.
Do they have one other episode here? Do they have one thing at the end where they around a campfire and then the black blood goes away? Is it in
I
this
think
episode?
that is this episode.
I'll mention it here anyway. Anyway, they go next to a fire in the woods, and Ciri's like looking at Geralt while he's like breathing, trying to like get rid of the black blood, and he goes from pale to get his color back, and he's back. And just as he opens up his eyes, he's like, "When I say hide, you hide. When I say run, you run. When I say get to Roach..."
Yeah, I get it.
Because we could have avoided a ton of stuff right there had you just listened to me. And he's trying to get through her head that he's there to protect her.
It's also weird because he's kind of taken a fatherly role.
Yeah.
So it's conflicting. And I think what he's really saying here, at least, is you don't have to listen to me, Geralt. Yeah. But you have to listen to Geralt the Witcher.
Yeah.
Right? As a man, you're a teenage girl who, in this she's like 15, in the book she's like 12. So even worse, I presume. I don't know how teenage girls are.
But even worse as they're younger.
There's terrible twos in it. Like, but you will listen to The Witcher, because The Witcher's going to keep you safe. I don't care about anything else, But if I tell you as a Witcher to do a thing, you have to do that thing, or you're gonna get munched by a vampire.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or your throat ripped out, whatever she was gonna do.
Yeah.
But it also is cool again, in a weird way, because he's looking very, monstery, and then in that moment of calm, she sees him more as he humanizes in front of her.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's like all the stuff she thought she knew, like that vampire was really nice to her, the beast was really nice to her, then the vampire turns on all of them and was hunting people, and he, who seemed really pleasant, was a rapist and stuff. And the person that she thought was the bad guy has been the constant all the way through is Geralt, right? It's this, I don't know, it's this weird, like, not coming of age, but like maturing moment. And then that's the end of episode 1. It's really good. Super strong way into the
good start.
Show,
really good start. Speaking of good starts, the next episode starts with a bad one. Yeah, so it opens up with Yennefer and Geralt as a family.
Yeah, she's preggo.
And Yen is pregnant. And I'm just like, no one believes this.
Obvious dream is obvious.
No one believes this. Like, so why are you pretending like this is a thing? Anyway, wakes up as a hallucination. That's where they wake up in the back of the car with Fringilla. The elves have them. They take them to the leader woman who we've spoken about already. I think
the point is that anybody magic is having weird dreams in this forest.
Exactly.
They're close to something is the point.
Some sort of power. Anyway, after they have that interaction, we cut to Geralt and Ciri where they're continuing their travels. And it's Kaer Morhen, bitches.
It looks really good as well.
Gorgeous.
It's perfect.
And the funny thing is that I thought a ton of it was CG. A lot of it isn't.
Yeah. A lot, like the stuff up on the mountain,
Yeah, when it's like a big wide shot, they have to CG it in and stuff like that. But I've seen behind the scenes photos of them in the castle. Yeah. And I'm like, they've got a castle? Where the budget? What's the budget? They just went and got a castle.
Also, like, I wonder. I hope they did it, like,
maybe.
Yeah. I hope they went to him like. They went to CDPR and were like, did you guys use it? Which castle did you use specifically for Kaer Morhen? Like, you must have taken inspiration, right? Please tell me that somebody didn't just make up this.
Please help us out a lot. Where was your principal photography done? Yeah, it was actually in the mountains of so and so. Perfect.
Sick. Cool.
We'll just hold our camera gear up there right now. We're going to do that. Maybe it's an Airbnb. You never know.
God, it could be. Oh my God, what a sick Airbnb.
That would be the greatest. I mean, you probably, like, great views, great area, 1 star, however, on the beds. They're straw, they're terrible, there's rats everywhere.
Well, the rats are the good rooms.
That's true. That's where the heat is. That's what you're saying right there. Are you actually looking for Airbnb?
Yeah, of course I am.
Castles in Airbnb.
I literally Googled Witcher Castle Airbnb.
If it's a thing, we're going there. We're going to do the finale episode from there.
Irish castles you can Airbnb. Let's have a look. I mean, they're not Kaer Morhen, but that's all the inside shots. Show me the outside, you motherfrickers.
They're pretty nice castles, though.
Yeah,
I want one where I might get frostbite if I go to sleep. Come on now. Anyway, we wake up. So what's the next bit? It's Kaer Morhen, and they go inside, and the lads are there. All the Witcher lads are there.
Witches, there's like 20 of them.
Exactly, and Vesemir's there as well.
Yeah.
Vesemir with a good old slicked back grey hair. Lovely.
Vesemir, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this. He's like 400 years old.
Is he?
He's
damn
bare old.
He's witchering forever.
I want to say that's right. I mean, it might not be quite that much, but I think it's a throwaway line, but they say like witches don't die of old age.
Yes, they're slow and sloppy.
Yeah, like they get old or they make a mistake.
Yeah,
but like no witcher dies of old age, and I think that is meant in twofold. One is that witches live a really long time.
Yeah,
and 2, they always get killed by something.
Yeah,
right. Like it's that's the point. Anyway,
and they're drinking for the reason why they're there is they all come back to Kaer Morhen every year during the winter so they can wait out the cold, and they drink to surviving another year.
150 is when he dies.
Yeah, damn. Another Witcher guy walks in after a big fight, and this is what's his name? The guy that fights the Leshy.
This is Eskel. With the scars on his face. Yeah.
Exactly, Eskel. And he says he fights a Leshy. Well, sort of, he says. It was something like it. He fought him for 6 hours, he goes. And Vesemir makes a joke. It's like, you fought a Leshy for 6 hours? and when you know the only way to kill him is with fire through the heart.
Yeah, and that didn't cross your mind sooner. Everybody laughs.
It was like, dickhead, you idiot, you fucking typical, what's his
friggin'
name?
Eskel.
Eskel,
Yeah.
I keep forgetting his name for some reason. Then again, I forget every name ever. We do cut to back to Yen. We cut back to Fringilla and Yen with the elves. One of them comes almost weasel out of the way of handcuffs.
Let's summarize everything. So, like, the mages.
Let's do that. That's a good idea.
The Yen and Fringilla managed to talk their way into like a temple.
Yes.
With elf mage.
Yes, because they talk about how they saw the hooded figure as well. Different color, but there's something here.
Right.
And they see that as some sort of significance, so they go, bring them as well, and we'll have a look.
I will say, and we kind of do have to cut back and forth, there is a point where Vesemir is showing Ciri some stuff in like the museum part of stuff, which becomes relevant. But we'll skip it now. Let's just round everything out.
Exactly. They go to this temple, and there's this shrine of some sort of person.
Yeah.
Except it's got 3 heads.
Yep.
And it's
all skulls and skeletons and
really
stuff.
strange looking, very weird stuff like that. And they look at the statue and they're like, oh, we don't really know what's going on. But then Yen brush away some of the dust and see some elvish inscriptions there, and read some of it, and then gets to the end and can't read what the last part is. But then the other woman, the main elf woman, says it's an incantation. They say it out loud, and then the whole statue thing moves backwards, and there's some stairs that go down.
That's not scary at all.
Let's
go down there.
Let's go down, guys. No, you guys with the swords, stay back.
Right.
Just us 3 women. 2 of them are bound by handcuffs. We'll just go down there. Don't worry about it. No worries. They head down there, and they go down and it's just magically they're in a forest.
Yeah, so I take it to be there's some sort of like, not dimensional warp, but like they're not in the inside the temple is sort of like not inside the temple.
It's like Returnal when you get on one of those pads and you get teleported to a different area.
Kind of,
it's like that. Gamers, you can't take the gamer out of the game. Right there. They get there and then they see from the inscription it says like a house with no doors.
I feel like we were told about that by Vesemir. He tells like tries to tell Ciri the bedtime story, the nightmare story.
Does he?
Yeah. So you know when he's showing around the museum.
Yeah.
And then he gives her like these bedtime stories, that if you're not good, the hut with no doors will come and get you, sort of thing.
Okay,
that's how we know about it.
I think they read it as well from the inscription on the thing above.
Oh, maybe.
I think that's how because they know about it as well. They go over there and they see this house that then when they
moves on basilisk legs or something. Like
when they talk to it, it gets up and turns around, and there's 2 windows, and then they get sort of like teleported into the house. They get sort of like
also. I can't remember. What is this thing? Is it a super powerful witch or is it a demon?
I don't 100% know as well, because when they wake up, each of them are by themselves, but they're in the house, and they're all seeing their own version of what this thing is. The elf woman sees another elf woman, an older elf woman, and talks about how like you're gonna bear the child, the first pure blood elf child. So, but I've bared children before and they've never come to term. It's like, well, don't worry, this will be the first time ever. And she sees that as like a great thing, and the elves are gonna become great again and whatnot.
Fringilla sees the Bullsack armor guy, the guy, not Bullsack armor guy,
and it's talking about how like, well, whatever you want, I can make happen. All of them are being promised something, basically.
I just don't get why this thing that's trapped down here wants to make all these promises.
Exactly.
Like, what's it? Cool, it feeds on them somehow, right? I get it, but
it's
surely
going to do something.
To be free, not.
It's going to do something, and it's not quite sure. Now, because I've seen episode 3, something makes sense from one of these. Cool. Yennefer talks, and Yennefer doesn't want anything.
Yeah, Yennefer's also the only one that susses out this isn't real.
Yeah, because the thing is that she's got everything. The only thing she's ever wanted is power, and she had massive amounts of it. Yeah. So she's like, I'm all powerful, I don't need anything. And what's really weird is her version is just this little girl that no one's ever seen before.
I forgot something I mentioned in the last recording.
Go on.
Something that pisses me off about Yen in episode 1, because you mentioned she only wanted power. She says the words to Fringilla, no one made us do anything. You spent a whole season whining. You were forced to do things, and that stuff you were lied to and was taken away from you.
Everything's taken from you.
And now you're saying that you did all of it by your own volition, which is the Yen that I love.
Yeah.
But that isn't the end we were shown. It's this complete 180.
Yeah.
It bugged the frick out of me, and you just jogged my memory. Yeah. Sorry, I bugs the shit out of me.
Hopefully they're correcting course and they'll stay on the correct course forever. Anyway, she says like you can't do anything. I've got everything I want. It's massive amounts of power.
Except a uterus that works. That's basically it.
Exactly. It's like and the other two are falling for it left, right, and center. Everything they're doing right there. Anyway, and then they sort of come out of their trance. Yen wakes up in a part of the forest. Fringilla's there, and they're like, "Hey, we're moving on." It's like, "Hey, where are you going?" Like we all saw the same thing, right? We all saw something anyway. That thing is clearly promising you stuff that it's not going to deliver. Right. And it's just going to use you for whatever purpose it wants.
And that's the bit that I don't get. Like I understand some super powerful entity granting wishes that are maybe like a double-edged sword and feeding on like the chaos that ensues. I get that, but this thing's clearly trapped.
Yeah.
So what? I don't know. It bugs me. That's all.
It was so weird because it's and also. Yen clearly sees it, and it's like, you know, Yen is powerful and is smart and whatnot. What would be the point of her lying to you about your dreams coming true by some magical entity that you've never met before?
Right.
It seems so obvious, and that's what made me think that in the beginning as well, that I said like Fringilla's really dumb. Yeah. This is another moment where she's really dumb, and I don't understand why they're making her purposefully dumb.
I think it's because she's like a quote unquote religious fanatic. So anything that it's like she's really intelligent, but obviously has this one thing where like she's in this cycle of thought. Yeah. So anything that then feeds into that, well, she knows because it's prophecy, so it's going to come true, and this is going to help that thing because it's a prophecy. It's going to come true. Do you know what I mean? So it feeds back into that loop.
Yeah,
and it's so frustrating as well because she's so close to Fringilla, like thinking her way out of the loop.
Yeah,
and then something gets reinforced, and she goes back to it. You know.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the end of their scenes right there. We cut back to Ciri. And she's Ciri and Geralt talking after they're in the one of the downstairs rooms where Geralt's ripping apart the Leshy arm that what's his name brought? Eskel brought. Can't remember his name.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, trying to make bits for potions and things like that. Yeah. And Ciri expresses how she wants to kill the winged helmet Nilfgaard guy.
Yeah.
And Geralt sees an opportunity at that moment. It's like, we don't kill out of fear.
Yeah.
Almost like seeding. It's like you could be something special and we could teach you, but not saying it out loud. So it's just a bit there.
Yeah. I think he's sort of saying, we witches, but also you're here.
Yeah.
You're my kid.
We don't kill out of fear.
We kill to protect people.
Exactly. Right. Anyway, at that moment, Geralt hears something upstairs. And apparently, all the guys have brought a titty bar to Kaer Morhen. Yeah. It's like, hey, the bitches are here. One of the women knows Geralt. Ciri's back downstairs, told her to stay down there. One knows Geralt. And says, oh, Geralt, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. A stranger, I hear you're a father now. And it's like, she's not my daughter. And it's like, oh, what's going on? She seems quite funny, actually. I did like this character right there. And properly knows Geralt in a way that we don't yet. And it's quite fun.
Yeah, she knows Geralt as a customer. Presumably spent some time in the place. She was the one hooker that would do business with him.
Yeah, but I feel like there's something more. Like, knows that he's not a bad guy. Yeah, he's actually one of the good ones. Like the other guys, they'll just bang us and maybe throw us to the side or whatever it might be. Don't care. But he doesn't care. But he just doesn't not care. You know what I mean? Anyways.
He's not like part of not caring means he doesn't do bad things either.
Exactly, because that would take a certain amount of
malice and stuff. He doesn't have that. Yeah.
Exactly. Geralt goes up to the Bethel guy, who's very twitchy and whatnot. Eskel, sorry, Bethel. Why did I say Bethel?
Yeah, basically,
Bethel another guy?
No, basically he's like, you shouldn't have brought 12 hookers here.
Yeah, he's
like they can't. Kaer Morhen's location is secret. The last time anyone was here, they burnt it down and made us stop being able to make witches and stuff. Like we were attacked.
Don't worry, I gave them something. They're not going to remember anything that happened.
That's not date rapey at all.
Yeah,
and then they beef.
Yeah, so he's very twitchy. Something's wrong with him,
and he's got that shoulder injury.
Exactly, and he's holding it every now and again. He's like going like that. Just as they're about to fight, it gets broken up and the girl goes, let me take you back over here. Let me sort out that pressure that's building up inside you. Don't worry, we got this.
Right, we'll work out.
Exactly. Ciri and Vesemir have him after Vesemir sees Ciri from looking from one of the balconies.
Ciri obviously didn't do what she was told.
Obviously.
And like snoops and sees all the hookers and the guys partying and stuff.
What I like is that she doesn't necessarily find it too disgusting. She's like, oh, boys will be boys.
Let's talk about this. So this kind of bugs me. In the game and in the books, Ciri becomes their little sister.
Yeah.
And Geralt's daughter, right? They love Ciri to bits. The witches love Ciri.
Yeah.
And would do anything for her. She's family. She's family.
Yeah.
She's their kid sister. In this, she gets there. They kind of, not, I think saying they bully her is a bit much, but they're not super, and I get that it's like their first meeting and stuff, but these guys know manners, you know? And then Eskel has this weird rapey vibe with her. It's wrong. It's not correct. It doesn't have to be all lovey-dovey from the beginning, but like it's just a bit off and it bugs me. But especially for this scene, because then she gets up there, sees the guys all having fun, and doesn't find it creepy. She's like, oh, that's good. They're like going to blow off some steam. And like she's not a child.
Yeah.
Right? Although she's young, she's not a child. They're like, I don't know, she seems to view it as a warm thing. Like at least the guys finally get some attention and warmth and companionship. But she doesn't have that relationship with them yet.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the smoothest relationship kickoff.
Yes.
So it's a bit weird. Vesemir spots her
Yeah.
and then goes and shows her around.
I will say about that one thing is that, as I said, I've seen episode 3. Some things happen that are a bit better.
Okay, cool.
Now, so I makes this beginning seem a bit better. Anyway, Vesemir spots and sees her and then goes and she quickly runs away back down to where they were before, and Vesemir goes down to see her and has the little conversation with her.
I think that's where he tours around the museum.
Exactly.
Which is before the witches do the thing.
Exactly.
And he basically tells her, like, this is the armor of the first witcher, this is the thing, this guy defeated this demon, and I think he describes the lady in the hut.
Yeah.
Which is how we know of it.
Exactly. This is what's really funny. In my notes, I've written down Bethel, but I don't know why I've written down Bethel.
That's weird.
The next scene is where Eskel
is with the hooker.
He's about to get laid. He's like, yeah, what's going on?
Different kind of wood.
And then a group basically comes growing out of his back.
Yeah. I hated the way that looked in a good way.
Exactly.
It looked awful.
And all while this is happening, Vesemir goes back upstairs, and while he's enjoying the party, talking with all the witches and stuff like that, all the medallions hanging from the tree and all of the witches' medallions all start vibrating together.
Do they ever talk about the tree? I don't know if they do, but basically it's all of the dead witches' wolf necklaces.
At the end, they show what it is because of what happens.
But the tree starts, tinkling.
Everything's like that, as if there's like an earthquake. But then all the witches like get up and they all hold their medallions. They can feel what's going on. And they're all like, something's wrong. Yeah. Get the girls out of here. Everyone pulls out their sword. They're all ready for it and whatnot.
This bugged me as well. They don't all have swords. Some guys go for axes. And I'm like, it's just... Like, in a sense, it's like, okay, they're warriors. I get it. But like, it's the tools of the trade are these twin swords. That's kind of how you... I don't know, it bugged me a little bit.
It bugs me as well because if you was an army... People having different specialities, like one's an archer, one's a long range swordsman, one's a short range, one does a catapult, stuff like that makes sense. Yeah. But you are going out as a lone wolf afterwards. You can't be all that. You need a close range, be expert close range swordsman, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
and also, it's literally the tools of the trade.
Yeah.
So it's one of the ways that they get business. It's like their business card. People spot the twin swords and go, Witcher.
Got it.
And now I have work for a Witcher.
Actually, wait, they only have one sword so far because it's based on the books so far. We do see the second sword come out, but it doesn't pop out just yet.
If you say so.
There we go. Anyway, well, not on his back anyway.
I mean, not in the show, but it's known that witches have a silver sword and a steel sword.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't know where do we go. So we cut back to the witches all fan out. They all go all over the place. Ciri goes back to her
just
her
a little
room.
bit before this.
Go on.
Because we skipped a couple scenes. Ciri has explored Kaer Morhen.
Yeah.
They pick a room for her. She complains that it has. She says that it has rats. She doesn't complain. She's a tough chick.
Yeah.
And I think Geralt even says like that's actually one of the better rooms. It's warm enough.
Yeah.
And he kind of discusses when he was a kid a little bit. I think he says it with Vesemir as well. Like that's he's talking with Vesemir about Ciri. This is all before it kicks off. And he's like, she's a lot tougher than you think. Explains what happened a little bit. And then there's sort of this kindred spirit because when Geralt was a kid, it was when Kaer Morhen was attacked. And he knows what it's like to be afraid as a child, hiding away, listening to the sounds of your home being destroyed by an army.
Yeah.
So there's that weird connection there, which was cool. And we also we see him train on those steps outside as well, the wood logs.
A little bit.
So there's some Witcher building here.
Yeah.
And then we're back to the hookers, and I think it's Lambert, the ginger guy, Lambert, bursts into Ciri's room with a sword. And the hookers are like, you don't burst into a girl's room with a sword. What are you doing?
Don't burst into a lady's room with a sword. And they start like slapping him gently. And get out of here, get out of here. It's like, I'm just doing my job. Jesus Christ. Yeah. It's so funny. And then Geralt goes down to where Eskel was with that woman. And is like sweeping the area gently and slowly. And is attacked gently and slowly. Cool. And then is attacked by branches coming out of everywhere, just like Groot's arms and whatnot. Out of each area, Geralt cutting them left, right, and center, doing a great job until he gets grabbed by one from behind and pinned against one of the pillars. He does manage to stop him from like strangling him. Yeah. Except in the other side of the room, you see a big some monster just climbing down from the ceiling. It's
very Groot.
Very Groot-like, and like branches coming off everywhere. And you're like looking to see if you can see any sort of humanoid figure, but you can't at the beginning, and that will makes it extra worse. It's like almost like a bundle of spiders. You're looking for something.
The use of like shadow here is really good.
And again, the visual effects, amazing. I'm like, whoa, this is really good. And he sees like it is Eskel at the end of it. He sees like an eye, and he sees one mashed up part of his face, and very much like Eskel's face right there. And he sees him. He does manage to get him sort of like he forces him back under a table, and that's where he finds out that it's Eskel. Almost like for a moment that he is still him, and maybe there is something you can do to save him. Right. Except Geralt knows that he's far too dangerous at the moment. Yeah. While they're anyway, gets back up, and he has Geralt on the ropes at one point, and he's about to end him. Out of nowhere, an axe comes flying through the air.
Big Daddy Vesemir.
Vesemir saves his boy, and they tag team him, and they tag team him back to backs, fighting off the arms of Eskel. And then what happens?
Geralt knows how to defeat Aleshi.
He does know how to defeat Aleshi.
Uses
Eskel grabs Vesemir and is about to kill him. He's like constricting him, and all while he's doing that, Vesemir's trying to get through to Eskel, trying to like, it's not too late, we can still save you. And you can tell that Geralt is hearing this and is like trying to defend himself from all of the arms. Oh,
gotta end this,
God, I've got to end this.
Like, you can save the guy potentially, but the likelihood is everybody's gonna die.
Exactly.
You gotta make a decision, right? Choose the many over the one.
And then he just ignites his sword, and it all lights up through the heart.
That kind of bugs me. Like, I feel like Igni hasn't been used, and should well have been used. Even just like, let's see him use it to make the campfire. We haven't seen it used at all. The one time he uses it is in a way that, at least in the books and in the game, doesn't work.
Yeah,
we never see.
I would be very nitpicky at this point. I'd be like, you said fire kills it, not a hot sword.
Right. So, like, I'm kind of with you. I didn't love this.
Like, if you set a wooden steak on fire and you shoved it in,
right,
get it. But a hot sword doesn't. Anyway.
Exactly. And Eskel doesn't die. I presume he dies in this. Yeah. I assume. But Eskel doesn't die. He's like a canon character all the way to the end of, I think the books, I haven't read all the books, but all the way to the end of The Witcher 3, you know, like that bugs me. I get it. It's their own creative vision of it and they want to make their own thing of it. I get it, but it bugs me, man. It's like this scene, like so much is off, you know, like using Igni for the first time, but it's in a way that doesn't work. It's not fire. It's hot metal. Like, it bugs me. It was a bit of a thing. Anyway, they beat him. They kill Eskel right there, and he's still in. He doesn't like change back or anything like that. Right. He's just in his same form like that. And Geralt knows, like he feels something because he's killed another Witcher. Not just a Witcher, his brother.
Exactly. And Vesemir can sense it straight away that he's feeling guilt for that. He's like, you did what you had to do. There was no other way this could have gone. Yeah. And Geralt turns to him as well. It's like, how do you feel? Because what just happened right here?
Well, because they're kind of his boys.
Exactly. Anyway, it ends there, and we move on to Geralt explaining how he was taught to Ciri in Kaer Morhen.
No, I think there's one thing.
Go on.
It might be before that, but Geralt says to, or I think it might be Vesemir that tips this off to Geralt, but he's like, why do you not feel scared and she does? And it's because you know how to hold your own. And somehow, I can't exactly remember, but it gets in Geralt's head that if he wants Ciri to be her own woman and not be afraid of everything, then she needs to become competent in the world.
Yeah.
And I think is this the final scene?
This is the final scene. So what they have the one moment afterwards where they drink to their fallen witcher and whatnot, and this is where they put his medallion on the tree to signify that's where all the dead witches medallions go. Didn't know there was that many witches ever, but that's really, really cool to see. A bit like the stars at like the CIA on the wall and things like that. Really cool. And then Geralt goes outside and he explains exactly what happened here. Like you could be great like this. You could learn to defend yourself. You can learn that you don't need the help of other people. And he pulls out his he pulls out his sword, or does he give her a wooden sword or something like that?
Yep.
I think he pulls out his sword first when she sees a wooden sword. Pulls out his sword,
that,
and he's like, "You can choose to defend yourself." And he's doing like movements as if like he's
going
practicing.
to katas or something, whatever they call it.
And then she picks up a sword and mimics those swords to signify that she's gonna learn. She's on the path now to becoming a witcher, or at least
learn to defend herself.
And it's a really cool ending. You get a zoom out of a shot.
Oh, and Kaer Morhen looks beautiful, and you see all the iconic, like
the training bits, and
the training poles and stuff. It's cool. It's very cool.
And that's the end of episode 2 right there. As I said, I liked all of the calls to all of the things that I know just because I played the game.
Yep.
I felt a little bit alienated in the first one, but that was to be expected because I've only had one entry into the entire world. But this one was what made me feel a lot better as a person who played the game. I will accept, though, at least when it comes to Eskel, that's a big thing. Because he's a big character.
He's a big character.
And now he's dead.
And he's rapey, which isn't in the games. And he's dead, which isn't in the games.
Yeah.
Personally, I way preferred episode 1 to episode 2.
Yeah.
Way preferred it. I felt like it was a good intro back into the world. We saw a bunch of signs. Episode 2 bugged me a lot. The stuff with I'll probably go back and watch episode 2. Maybe I'm missing something, but I feel like that hut was built up to be like this mega demon thing, and it just offers a few people some promises or something, and doesn't try to get out. Like, what, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it's clearly they're setting up something, but for now it just seems weird.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they depart drastically from the source material with Eskel and stuff. I don't know. It felt like an odd entry. Like I said, you've seen episode 3, which I haven't. And it starts to tie up some ends. Yeah. And I do think they are setting stuff up. Obvious that it's episode 1 and 2, they are setting things up. So hopefully they round it out nicely. Yeah. I'm willing to like give a bit of leeway and say, okay, they're taking stuff in their own direction. That's why things are so different. That's why Yen took the lead over Triss in this case. That's why Eskel's gone, which I don't like, but some creative vision can be allowed.
Like I said in the recording that got deleted, the Triss stuff, all of them are going to get remedied in episode 3.
Cool.
You are going to be like, yes, they've made the change that we've been asking for, and everything is great now. And I can't wait to talk about it this week.
I'm looking forward to doing episodes 3 and 4 next week.
That's going to be this week, actually, because we're doing this so late because of everything that happened. So that's be happening there. All right, and I'm going to do something that we definitely didn't forget to do on the last episode. We're going to read out comments that you guys have left on our Discord server, which you guys can do by clicking the links in the description. Right. Our first one from our boy Adam Sunling, the guy who loves this show.
Yeah.
He goes, because you guys didn't read our thoughts comments from the last streamcast, how do we know you even read them? He goes, okay, for season 2. Bad show with bad writing. Frick you, Lauren, and no Eddie. I don't rate the Brooksa on hotness. I told people you have to rate the Brooksa on hotness.
Of course you do.
She's a smoking 15 out of 10. She
is hot.
She is.
Plus, look, she does that
I want to put my D in that.
She does that weird shimmering thing. Imagine when she does that if she's on top. Amazing. So, like you said, 15 out of 10.
15 out of 10. Those teeth.
Right.
Just adds to it.
Right.
A bit
she can fly.
Exactly. She's known for sucking blood.
Liquids out of people.
But liquids of all forms, I'm sure she'll be good at. Anyway, I'm disappointed in you, Adam. I'm disappointed in you.
True.
When Geralt tells Ciri that there's much more than just his destiny, it's much more than just his destiny, would have hit so much more if the showrunner / writers actually cared about following the books.
Again, I'm actually with him. Although he's wrong, the books aren't canon. It's the games that are canon.
Exactly.
Get fricked. I don't
Books
care what you think. But yeah, who reads? But like, we have to allow some creative license. You know, they do get to take it their own way a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't like what they've done, but anyway.
So yeah, he goes, Yennefer might have lost her magic after Sodden, but it's good to see that her vocabulary of different swear words is still very much intact. He really hates this show. Also, why is Geralt the one who gets memed for saying fuck when literally half of Yennefer's dialogue is the word fuck or shit? Solid point.
I do feel like...
Solid point.
I'm all for swearing, but just, if that's all you have for your character, it's not enough, you know. And that isn't all there is for Geralt, who is the one that gets memed because of the way he says it, but
and how little words he says.
Right, it's a fairly meaty portion of his word count.
Exactly.
Sage, who's Sage? Let's see. Don't know.
Sage, one of our new boys. Yeah, here we go. How's it going? Welcome to the channel.
Monster rating out of 10, 7.
Bullshit. Cancel his comment.
Would be higher, but I'm not into Vor. I guess fair enough.
Come on.
Would have liked a bit more depth into the twisted version of Beauty and the Beast, but I don't like the backstory. Besides that, I don't mind it. I agree. It kind of... I mean, I get that... The bit that bugged me is Geralt says, no one's stupid enough to go and trash the temple, and then this guy gets 1,000 times dumber.
Yeah.
You know? I hear a lot of fans of the books and games dislike this show for its divergence from the OG material, but honestly, as someone who hasn't played or seen either, I don't mind it. I just wish there would be more depth into the themes of destiny, superstition, and morality in the show. Cavill seems to respect the books, but I doubt the rest of the cast and crew did more than skim through the summaries. I agree. It feels like they skimmed the summaries and didn't play the game, don't know the game.
There's an interview recently that went up of Ciri, the actress who plays Ciri, and she's saying it's amazing working with Henry Cavill because sometimes they'll be doing a scene and they'll come up with a line of dialogue that they've realized doesn't work or whatever, and then he'll be like, why don't we try the so-and-so from page 256 of the book so-and-so, and everyone's just like, can you just write the show for us?
That's one of the things that I found really interesting was that Henry Cavill does love the source material, and we've departed from it so much. So I wonder, I don't know, it makes me wonder as all.
I think him being an actor, he knows how much movies have to be different from books,
and there's only so much movement you can get. Exactly. And if a show's written a certain way for a certain reason, I don't know. Anyway, it just and look, he's the star, but he is ultimately an actor. And doesn't get those back-end decisions, even though he would probably make a better show or more true to the material show. On the material, Sage, bro, you're missing out if you haven't played The Witcher. You can start with The Witcher 3. That's the only one we've played.
Yeah.
It's freaking great.
And I started it again recently. Stupidly.
I'm really craving it because I don't trust them to do an upgrade for the PS5.
It's going to be so pointless, I bet you, because the things I'm playing it on PC, so I downloaded a bunch of mods, and it's 4K texture mods, and I've added a few other little things, like I've made his eyes glow a little bit. Cool. And the medallion, the eyes on that to glow red as well. And other little things to make the monsters look more monstery, and other quality of life stuff.
Feel free to post all of that shit on Twitter because I want to see it.
Oh shizzle.
I want to see it. Also, will that apply to like Blood and Wine and stuff?
I don't know.
I hope so.
Or you mean will I play them?
Well, I mean, will those mods?
Pretty sure.
Because Blood and Wine was so gorgeous. Yeah. Anyway, look, The Witcher 3, absolutely amazing game. It takes probably the first 3 to 5 hours for you to figure out the world a bit and get out of White Orchard. But it's so good. You can absolutely start with 3. There's no problems there. One of the best games ever made. It's easily in my top 10. I think it's in my top 3.
Yep.
Really, really think you're missing out. And at this point now, like 7 years later, you can pick it up super cheap. Yeah. Get the DLC. Heart of Stone and Blood and Wine are incredible. There's a reason that people were so hurt with Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
It's because CDPR set the bar so incredibly high with The Witcher 3 and their DLC, which I would say is the best DLC ever.
I think so. I think I would go along with that. Yeah.
I just highly recommend you play it, especially if you're in need for something to play. The Witcher 3 is incredible.
Yeah.
Big dub.
Get in that, bro. All right, that is going to be the end of this episode of Streamcast. Thank you guys for joining along. Thank you so much for everything, all the support that you guys have done in the past year.
Yeah.
Hoping this year gets even better for us. If you like the stuff that we do, if you like the way that we joke around and stuff like that, you can catch more of that over at CONBROSATIONS. Link will be in the description for that as well. And
don't forget CONBROSATIONS Day, the 9th of January.
That's right, 9th of January. And we can have a lot of fun then as well.
Yeah.
All right, bro, I'll catch you in the next one. I wonder if there's going to be a catchy tune in this.
They got to do another like Toss a Coin to a Witcher, right? Surely.
To be fair, that was a banger tune.
The second season 2 gets renewed, you know the guy that made that tune is like, shit. Got to start working on it.
No, what happened? What
How
am I going to
top that? How am I going to top that?
He's like, I was a one-hit wonder.
And mate, it was a one-hit times 20 wonder because it works in every language. So no one's got to come up with a song as good that still works in multiple languages. It's never going to work.
Never going to work. The guys, it's the insurmountable
ridiculous,
job right there. Never going to happen.
Ridiculous, isn't it?